Welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you're here. Today, I've got a workshop for you that some of my students have been requesting for quite a while. And if there's anything you want to know more about, I want you to reach out to me, okay? Or go ahead and put it down below in the comments because I want to be serving you. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today. I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and we're going to hop right into it. Now, if this is your first time joining me, I want to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Abby Ritchie, and I am the founder of Senior Savvy. All week long, I have the honor and the privilege of teaching older adults the tech skills that they need. I do this on senior connection platforms as well as different senior living communities, and I absolutely love teaching you how to connect with your family and friends. I also want you to see at the bottom of every single slide, you're going to find my email address. And if at any time you want to reach out to me, go ahead and send me an email. I know it's small there. It says abby@seniorsavvy.net. And that's how you can reach me. So the metaverse, what is it? Right? What the heck is it? I'm sure you've heard about it. And part of my job as your tech teacher is to teach you about these new concepts. You may not ever use them. You may, but I want you to have a basic foundation and education on these terms so that when they come up in conversations with your children or with your neighbor, you know what you're talking about. And that is my goal, to give you a basic foundation on the technology that people are using today so that you feel confident and comfortable to continue learning. So today we're going to talk about the metaverse. We'll talk about any NFTs. What does that stand for? All right. Blockchain, the chat AI, the chat GPT, I'm sure you've been hearing about. We'll talk about crypto as well as AR, augmented reality. Now, how do you find out about these far out topics? Well, they're typically in the news, right? I don't think I can go one single day without hearing about maybe crypto and or the AI, right? It's everywhere. In fact, I did a TED Talk last year on the power of AI for the boomer you love and how you can begin to adopt artificial intelligence today. So that's going to help you remain independent longer. All right. So, but typically we find out about these topics from our kids, from the news, and investment options. So here's the plan for today. First, we're going to talk about AI. Then we're going to talk about finance, metaverse, and some resources I put together just for you. So you might be wondering to yourself, well, how does this benefit me? I'm retired. Who cares anyways? This is all that nonsense, gobbledygook. Well, we're going to talk about how this benefits you. And in the first instance here, we're going to talk about AI because I think once you hear about this, you're going to understand it immediately. And you'll realize how artificial intelligence benefits you. But if you want more information, go to my website, go to tedtalk.com. And I did do a TED Talk on artificial intelligence. And the neat thing about artificial intelligence is that it's pulling and pulling from all of these sources from years of computer science use. And it can help with psychology. It can help with linguistics, not linguini, linguistics, and with philosophy. And so how it benefits you is every single time you talk to your digital assistant, and I'm not going to say her name right now because then she'll talk back to us, right? Every time you talk to your digital assistant, you're pouring in AI. Every time you ask that one to play your favorite song or what the weather is, you are accessing AI. It's a database of information that has been input into that technology for years and years, and it's getting quite sophisticated. Every time you go on Amazon, it knows that you just might need to reorder those vitamins that's AI. Every time you're using a music app like Spotify, it knows what your favorite songs are because it's gathering intelligence on you. Now, I'm pretty sure you've heard about the Chat GPT. I feel like it's in the news every single day. And so what this stands for is Generative Pre-trained Transformer. I know it sounds weird, but it's actually a computer database of information that's been gathering, and it's been pre-trained to give you responses. So let's just say, for instance, that you are you're the committee head for one of your charities, all right? And you need to write a small blurb about where you guys are heading in the future. You can ask the chat app to help you come up with the writing that you need. You don't have to copy it, of course, that would be plagiarism, but it can come up with lists for you. It can come up with paragraphs for you to give you a good launching point. And if you are an entrepreneur, like I am, you need all the help you can get, right? And so the Chat GPT is going to give you that extra help and help you come up with ideas that you can then use to put into practice. So there are a lot of things that it can do for you. And if you ever want to reach out to me, talk about it personally, I'm happy to do that with you anytime. Now let's talk about fintech. That's financial technology. Yeah, that's what that means, financial technology. And these days we're hearing about it as crypto, NFT, which we'll talk about in just a minute, as well as blockchain. So the evolution of fintech has actually been in development since the early 50s, if you can believe that, with the Diners Club first launching their credit card. And it's developed in time with online banking. That's part of fintech. It's developed with the Square. You know how you've got those Square readers at festivals and smaller coffee shops? Yeah, that's fintech. That's an evolution of technology. It's also in your Apple Pay. It's in the Venmo that you may use to pay your hairdresser. And it's developing in more and more ways. We've got that tap technology. So that is what fintech is all about. Now, in the past couple of years, the crypto has become more and more popular. And so crypto stands for cryptocurrency. And crypto is a digital currency designed to work as a medium of exchange through computer networks. It's not reliant on any central authority like the bank or the government. So people like that because it eliminates the need for a traditional intermediary like a bank. And how does it work? Well, it's digital money. It's managed by a decentralized network outside of the bank's governance. And there are different types of the currency. One is called Bitcoin. And there are various types of Bitcoins that are offered. Here is a picture of them. There's Ethereum. You've probably heard of Zcash. And so cryptocurrency, it's created through processes of mining through computer systems. And people who want to exchange and invest can do so online. Now, one form of cryptocurrency is a system, and it's called blockchain. Blockchain is a system that is recording the transactions made in Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency, and it's maintained across several computers linked to a peer-to-peer network. The blockchain is like a ledger, okay? And it's maintained on numerous computers across the world to keep track of these exchanges. Now, in the past couple of years, you've probably heard about this NFT. And what is it, right? And it's kind of a hard thing to get your mind around, but NFT stands for non-fungible token. I think I have forgotten what it stands for like 20 times. So it does stand for non-fungible token. And what this is a unique digital identifier. It can't be copied, it can't be substituted, and that is recorded on the blockchain. that's used to certify ownership and authenticity. So what that means is if you created something online, a graphic, and people started using it over and over and over again, you would want to have the rights to that piece of work, okay? And that piece of work is an NFT. It's a one-of-a-kind asset in the digital world. And the information of who owns it and what's stored on it is shared in the blockchain. And that's probably all you need to know about that whole topic, okay? Now I'm going to move on to the metaverse. And I've had a lot of my students in the past year want to talk about the metaverse, especially how it benefits them and how they're going to be expected to engage with it. So the metaverse refers to the worlds that are happening in augmented reality, in virtual reality. And most often they're accessed by putting on those goggles, okay? So imagine this. We're in a classroom on Zoom, but rather than being on Zoom and in this box, we can put on these goggles, and everyone in the classroom also has these goggles on while they're sitting at their desk. And that allows you to then virtually access a room in the metaverse so that you could all come together virtually. And it's like your whole bodies are there and you're interacting just like this picture. You do need to have those virtual reality goggles on in order to see how you're able to interact differently. So it really takes you from this dimensional Zoom room to a 360 degrees environment. And there are a lot of benefits to this. And I'm going to tell you, when you're teaching, when you're learning, to be able to see all around you is huge. I've been reading that there are telemedicine platforms in VR where your doctor could actually come up and look at something on your face, for instance, or ask you if that hurts or does this hurt. And so there are many, many developments in this area. If you want to communicate with someone across the country or in another country, and you want to be in the same room, you can do that virtually. In the augmented reality space, I've seen some amazing developments. Like you can take a building site and superimpose your designs on top of the photographs. You can really get a good idea of what the building would look like. This goes beyond just the model, right? If you want to try on glasses or a pair of shoes, you could definitely do that. In fact, during the pandemic, I used the Warby Parker app several times. My kiddos needed glasses. I needed a new pair of glasses. And they have this immersive virtual try-on where you can just take the glasses, put them on your face virtually. It's just showing a picture of you in your camera and see what each and every pair of eyeglasses would look like on you. And now let's move into the metaverse, okay? The metaverse refers to digital worlds in which people will gather to work, to play, to hang out. And some of these will be in immersive 3D experiences, and others are going to play out on the computer screen. And some of these benefits are that it's going to help you to experience maybe things that you haven't been able to do because of a lack of mobility, for instance. And that's truly the thing, that if you wanted to go down memory lane and go back to your hometown and walk down the street and see where the house is that you grew up in, you can do that. When it comes to developments in AR and VR, here's how some things are benefiting older adults. And these mostly are designed because it's going to help you reduce loneliness. It's also going to help you to transport to far-flung places. And there are people who have been taking a lot of videos and photographs and then piecing them together to give you a feeling of actually being there. And during the pandemic, a lot of companies developed this type of technology. It can be used for time travel. It can be used to tackle isolation. And there are some resources, for instance, like Wowzitude, where you can join a virtual travel club. And every single week, they're taking you to a different destination, and you're doing that with other people and then talking about it. There's also a company called Rendeavor. So it's rendeavor.com. And what they have is a group virtual reality platform specifically designed for older adults to get people together in the same space virtually. And they're doing fitness classes as well as travel tours. And then there's the Mind VR, that's MYND, Mind VR. And in Mind VR, what they're trying to do is truly help you engage, help you interact with people, and making your experience less emotionally isolating. So and at the same time, reducing any pharmacological dependencies. The less medicine you can take, the better off you'll be. So now I want to open this up for questions, and some of you will email these to me, and some of you will raise your hand or put them in the chat down below. And if you do have any questions whatsoever, definitely reach out to me. I will answer them. I know this topic's kind of a far-flung thing, but you guys have got to stay up to speed, right? And I always want to be teaching you the tech skills you need so that you can connect with your family and friends. As we're wrapping up here, I just want to tell you can always find me on Facebook if you want to connect with me there, or on Instagram, and here on YouTube. All right, it has been an absolute pleasure and honor to be with you today. And as always, any comments, I love reading them. Go ahead and reach out to me and let me know the next workshop topic you want to hear about. Thank you.